Hello, we're going to talk today about creative writing workshop and what it is, how it works in this class, but also, why you want to think about participating at a meaningful level outside of just like grade. And also, what the point of workshops are in the first place, or in another way, what the point of writing groups are. Writing groups are a common exercise that writers participate in. The image here on your screen is of the Algonquin round table, a group of artists and playwrights and poets and comedians who met together in the 1920s in New York. They were kind of like the witty, snooty elite that met in the Algonquin room. To talk about their writing, to support each other, to make fun of each other. It was one of the more elitist groups, but it was also a group where the participants in it saw their work kind of flourish because of their participation in this group. I've been a member of writing groups often in my life. I haven't been one recently, just because of busyness of life and COVID and all that other stuff. But whenever I'm a part of a writing group, a group of people that I trust, that I care about, whose work I genuinely like, when I'm part of such a group, my work flourishes. I grow as a writer and I develop more material. Writing groups are a really valuable way to make sure that your writing is doing something in the world, because when you're sitting by yourself in your room and you're typing or you're writing and you're creating material, you really don't know where it's going. But if you share it within a group of people who are better writers than you and worse writers than you, and you're in discussions with those people over your work and their work and how that work functions, that's a really generative space. It's a space where your work can find a life, an audience, and can also start to see the future of where that work might go. In English 139, in our intro to creative writing group class, in our intro to creative writing class, we are going to be doing workshop. Our workshop is going to be a ongoing virtual workshop. We are going to be doing, I think we'll have 4 sessions of workshop over the next 4 weeks. And what's going to happen is on every Wednesday by 11:59 p.m., the people who want to participate in that week's workshop will post their work into the discussion board of the workshop. And then the rest of us will comment on that work using our workshop guidelines to give feedback on the writing, to get into a discussion on the writing. Now, there's going to be some structure here. There's some things we've got to accomplish with this workshop, in part because it's an academic course, but also because I want you to see the value of writing within a community and to see how your work can grow within that community. But in order for that to happen, because many of us, this will be the first time we've ever been in a workshop, I need to have some guidelines. Let's just first talk about the point of doing this. Now, you're in a creative writing class, and presumably you signed up for this course because you wanted to learn a little bit about writing, about the possibility of your own writing. Well, because of that, I'm going to take license with that desire, and I'm going to push you to be a writer, at the very least during this semester, and to participate in writer-like things this semester. That's what our reading was this week. I asked you to read a bunch of different things and think about them as a writer. And our workshop is another one of those things that you need to participate in as a writer to see your writing grow. So this is compulsory. That means you've got to do it. But the part of that compulsoriness is that it's not busy work. I want you to take it seriously, to be committed to it, to be engaged and authentic in the work that you do here. When you post something for workshop, I expect you to actually value what you've posted and that you want other people to see it. When you comment on something for workshop, I expect you to value what you're commenting on, even if you don't like it. I want you to value the work as a piece of creative writing work. And then when you read comments, I want you to be serious about reading those comments and thinking about what they're saying. The goal here is that by participating in a workshop like this, a creative writing group, we are practicing our reading as writers and our writing as readers and moving those things together to see where our work might go. So I want to take a look at the guidelines that I've posted onto our Moodle page and ask ourselves what it means to participate in a workshop. Now, these are detailed guidelines because I've got to make sure that we're establishing some ground rules for participation here to make this workshop function well. So just follow along with me. Think about what our guidelines are and how you're going to participate. And I understand you can read these guidelines yourself, but I want to make sure we state them out loud. That I know that you've at the very least watched this video, and hopefully with all my videos, because they're brilliant, I'm hoping you're watching them to the end. But this one in particular, you need to pay attention to, at the very least, because workshop is worth 30% of your overall grade. And then it's also part of your class participation grade. So you want to make sure you're doing a good job here. If all you care about is the grade, hopefully that's not why you're here. The grade, I don't really care that much about the grade. What I care about is that we have a meaningful experience. So let's read through the guidelines and think about what it is that you need to accomplish. So your workshops will run every week from week 3 to week 7. From this point forward, we're going to have one workshop and one exercise-based discussion board every week. So instead of having a couple of discussion boards where you just talk about stuff in general, we're going to have one workshop discussion board and then one board where you do an exercise like we've done in the last couple of weeks. The point of workshop is to develop a community of readers and writers who are exploring our interest in creative writing. Your engaged, authentic participation is necessary for this community. So here are the guidelines. Posting work. That is, when you take something that you've been working on, a poem, a dialogue for a play, a short story, when you take something that you've been working on and you want to post it into workshop, these are those guidelines. You must post new original work for commentary in our workshop at least 2 times this semester. So think about that. We got next week, week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6, week 7, five workshops, I think that's how it will work. You're going to have to post in 2 of those. So the next 5 weeks, you're going to have to post in 2 workshops. Well, let's talk about what the numbers there mean. We've got about 19 people in the class. And so if we got 5 weeks with 19 people who have to post 2 times, that's about 38 divided by 4, which is, somebody do that math for me, about 9 people posting every week. That's a lot of things that we're going to be posting. 9 people are going to be posting new work every week in order to meet those 2 requirements. And I'll say this later on in the page, but let me say it now. You should post early. Don't wait until week 6 and 7 to post, because people are going to be much more engaged early. Hopefully they're engaged later, but people are going to be more engaged early. Get your posting done in the next few weeks so that we can just make sure that this workshop is functioning. Number 2, posts of work for commentary must be made each week by Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. Posts of work made after that point will not count and may be removed. You may only post 1 piece a week. We've got a lot of people here who are needing to get workshopped, so we don't want to overwhelm the workshop with you posting multiple pieces. Just 1 piece a week. And let me just say that I didn't put this in the guidelines. You got to make sure your post can be read. If you post it in a format nobody can read it, a file format, then that's no good. If you post a Google Doc, then that's no good, because we won't be able to get into your Google Doc unless you set it up properly. So make sure you post it in a format that people can read it. Number 4, in order to leave room for everyone to get commentary, you may not post new work more than 3 times. So you've got to post 2. You can't do more than 3. We've only got 5 weeks here. Number 5, your work must be somewhat complete as a piece. It can be rough and in need of revision, but it should not be fragmentary or just notes or brainstorming. And basically, this is here for people that would want to post BS just to meet the requirement. I want you really thinking about the fact that you've posted a piece that's ready for commentary, not just a few notes. I've been in a workshop group before where I had a person that was in that group who never really got anything done, but sometimes they would bring in outlines for stories or just a few fragments of discussion that they had written for a play that never really went anywhere, but they just wanted to keep on being a part of the group. But that's not allowed here. They weren't really a part of the group, and that person we actually asked to leave the group when they weren't participating at an appropriate level. Number 6, your posting should not be more than 1,250 words. That's about 5 type pages, but even that's pretty heavy for a workshop. So I recommend this is not to discourage you from writing longer work, but we want to get commentary on your work. We don't want people skipping it the last 4 pages because it's 10 pages long. So what I would recommend is keeping your work under 750 words to get quality commentary. If your original piece is longer than 1,250 words, then maybe you should consider slicing out a part of it, posting that part, and describing the rest through summary, like at the start of it. Summarize what that piece is coming from, what it's about, and then just post the part of the piece. Number 7, you should not post work on which you cannot accept commentary. So if you're writing about your grandma who passed away, or if you're writing about your faith, or you're writing about your love of My Little Pony, you shouldn't post it unless you can accept commentary and critique of it. Using personal work experiences in your work is fine, and in fact expected. You should be doing that. But recognize that for workshop members, work is work, and it is there to be commented on. And so if you don't want somebody commenting on your love for My Little Pony, don't write about that, or don't post that. Number 8, you should include a content warning in the title. For example, warning contains graphic violence if your work is overly graphic in sexuality or violence. Do not force others to read work that might be traumatizing. If you are going to be writing, let's just use a really harsh example. You're going to be writing about sexual abuse that you've experienced. Okay, nobody's going to tell you not to write about that, but you absolutely need to put a warning in the title, because there are other people in the class who may have experienced sexual abuse, and they need to know before they read this that what they're reading could hurt them, and maybe then they can choose something else to read. What I also want to make sure I say here, in the previous one, talked about personal experiences and writing about personal experiences. Here, don't write about something you don't really know. You can't really write about sexual trauma if you haven't experienced it, and you can't do it in a meaningful way. You can't write as a white man. I can't write in a Black man's voice in a meaningful way and expect that other people know that I'm talking about the Black experience. So be thoughtful about how you're writing. And this goes into number 9. Be careful of work that expresses bias, even if that bias helps you build a character. Work with racist, sexist, homophobic, classist, jingoist, ableist, or other biased language or views can be called out for their bias. If you must deal with these topics, please make sure your readers can tell that bias is an element of the content of the work, not a characteristic of the author. So, sometimes you need to have a racist character, but make sure that we know that what's going on there. if your work appears to be biased, if it appears to be sexist or homophobic or racist, then it can get called out. And if it is biased, if I make the determination that there's something wrong there, then I will remove it, because we don't want that kind of work. Having a character that is questionable in their ethics, that's fine. Having a piece that is questionable in its ethics is not. Those are the basic guidelines for posting work. Now let's look at the guidelines for commenting on work. This is the work that you will do on each other's writing through each week. So each week, you must comment on three other writers' pieces of writing. So we got 10 people posting every week. You got to comment on 3 of them. Writers may not reply to comments or answer questions on their work. Let the work stand for itself. So part of your commenting is not replying to other people's work. If somebody comments on your work, let it stand, even if you dislike it or disagree. Number 3, comments each week must be completed by Mondays at 11:59 p.m. That's the general standard deadline. Number 4, for your first comment each week, post comments for the writer who has received the least amount of comments thus far that week. So you look at the discussion board, you've got 10 pieces there. 6 of them have had 3 comments or so. 4 of them have had no comments, or 4 of them had 3 of them had 1 comment. 1 of them has had no comments. Comment on the one that has no comments, the first one. And then after that, you can comment on whatever you want, but make sure that everybody is getting at least some feedback. Number 5, comments are not busy work. They are contributions to a meaningful discussion. So comments must be substantial. That means don't just get on there and post some BS. Really read, really comment, and make it substantial. I was going to put a word limit on there, but I don't want to do that. I want you to actually write real comments here. But do it with these guidelines. Here are some rules for your commenting. Comment on the work, not to the writer. Say, line 3 needs more physical detail to make us feel the emotion. Don't say, you should fix line 3. The point here is to comment as readers, not to try to fix people's writing. The second one, say something supportive, but not shallow. Be supportive. Make sure that your comments, especially if you're going to be really critical, have at least a couple things in there that are supportive. We are here to support each other. Even if you don't like something, you can still find something to be supportive. And I don't mean fake. I mean, be real. Next one, don't focus on grammar, formatting, or what you think good writing is. Focus on the creative writing of another writer. There's a mistake there in the formatting here. So please don't comment on that. We're not here to fix each other's writing. We're here to comment on what we've read and to provide feedback on what that experience was like. So don't try to fix their grammar or formatting or whatever. Just comment on what you see, on the ways that it was constructed. The next one here, I made a typo in the document, so I'll go back and fix that. Say something constructive, not destructive. So if you have to critique, make sure the critique is constructive. Don't just tear things down. Talk about what you see as an issue and what you see as a solution. And that goes into the next one. Be specific in your critique and offer reasons for your critique. It does somebody no good if you just say, I don't like line 3. Tell them what's going on there that's making you say you don't like line 3. Focus comments on specific writing details, plots, characters, lines, images, wording, and meaning. Don't talk about the whole thing and whether or not it's a good writing. Talk about specific stuff that you see in there. Next one, don't be cruel, dismissive, overly smarty pants, or controlling. Remember, this is the work of a real writer, and you are being given the privilege of reading work before it's been fully revised. So don't be cruel. I don't care if you don't like somebody. I don't care if you don't like their writing. And even if you find a piece of work that has some bias, don't call that person a hater or a racist. Be thoughtful and constructive. not destructive. Next one, reread your comments before posting and ask yourself, do I add to this piece? Do I add to the conversation about this piece? Or am I just repeating what other people have said? Am I just saying what's obvious? Make sure your comments matter. Next one, you can comment on additional pieces past the 3 with broad general praise, so long as you have contributed 3 substantial comments for other writers prior to your niceties. It's perfectly fine to tell somebody you love their writing, or it's perfectly fine to say this reminded you of your grandma. That's fine, but make sure you've done 3 real comments before you throw in the nice stuff. Last one, students who have difficulty following these rules will not get full credit for workshop participation and may be banned from workshop, because my primary goal here is to make sure the workshop is a productive, supportive space. And if you are hampering that through the ways you participate in workshop, you can get banned from workshop. Other information. Don't wait until weeks 6 and 7 to post your work, your original work. Jump in as soon as possible so that this workshop can thrive. And don't wait until Monday afternoon to comment on others' work. Jump in as soon as possible so that this workshop can thrive. And there's something here about you posting on Thursday afternoon on somebody's work, and then having somebody else come right after you and posting on that work as well, and the discussion that you can get into about that work that can be really fruitful for the writer, but also for the readers. Post early, make this work, make this discussion work. Number 3, remember, a workshop is worth 30% of your grade and also counts towards your overall participation grade. You don't need that motivation, but if you don't take workshop seriously, you will hurt your grade in this course. Number 4, I will participate in workshop only when necessary. Ideally, I will be totally silent in order to allow you to build your own community. I will get involved if there's an inappropriate and unannounced content in the original piece, or if there's inappropriate commentary, or if students need additional guidance or on commentary or on their writing. I will get involved if I have to. And I'm reading what everybody's doing. But I really think, a lot of times in a creative writing class, even in an intro class like this, instructors play far too big of a role in student reading of their own work. So I try to pull myself out and allow you guys to discuss this work on your own and to build meaning on your own without my influence. That said, you should contact me if you have concerns about what you see happening in workshop. If I've missed something important, or if I need to intervene and I haven't intervened yet, or you should contact me if you have questions about others' comments on your work. I'm here for you. I'm involved. I'm just not going to take an active role in leading the discussion. That is our workshop. Those are the basic guidelines for our workshop. This can be a really fruitful and meaningful experience for everybody involved, as long as everybody involved remembers we are here for the group, for the community, not just for our own grade, or not just because we're being told to do it. Make this a meaningful experience. Get to know each other through your writing. Really, I'm being genuine here, because a lot of times teachers will bullshit and they'll just tell you that this is the most important thing you can do in your life, or the most important thing you can do for your career or your degree. But this workshop, a workshop like this, can be a very meaningful experience for you throughout your college courses. It can be really meaningful to be this deeply involved in your writing and in others' writings. So please be genuine, take this seriously, and let's get some more good work done. I look forward to seeing your work.